If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. House of the Dragon Season 2 is an American fantasy drama television series created by George R.R. Martin and Ryan Condal for HBO. A prequel to Game of Thrones, it is the second television series in Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire franchise. Based on parts of Martin's 2018 book Fire and Blood, the series begins about 100 years after the Seven Kingdoms are united by the Targaryen conquest and nearly 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones and 172 years before the birth of Daenerys Targaryen. Featuring an ensemble cast, the show portrays the events leading up to the decline of the House Targaryen, a devastating war of succession known as the Dance of the Dragons. The first series premiered on August 21, 2022 and was composed of 10 episodes. The series then was renewed for a second season 5 days after its premiere. Miguel Sapochnik, showrunner for the first season, departed, leaving Condal to serve as the sole showrunner for the second season. The second season then premiered on June 16, 2024 with 8 episodes. In June 2024, ahead of the second season premiere, the series was renewed for a third season. George R.R. Martin has said the inspiration for the series came from the English medieval history and anarchy and the War of Succession after the death of Henry I of England between his nephew Stephen of Valois and only surviving child Empress Matilda, but fled to Normandy in the 12th century. As mentioned earlier, Miguel Sapochnik stepped down as director and showrunner for the second season, but remained as an executive producer. Sapochnik stated, "It was incredibly tough to decide to move on, but I know that this is the right choice for me personally and professionally." Alan Taylor, who directed Game of Thrones episodes, joined in Season 2 and serves as an executive producer and director. On his personal blog in December 2023, Martin stated that the third and fourth seasons are being written. After the second season finished airing in August 2024, Condal said the series is intended to end after the fourth season. Changes from the novel. In the novels, members of the House Targaryen are generally described as having silver golden hair, pale skin, and violet eyes similar to the Targaryens. However, Condal and Sapochnik wanted to introduce more racial diversity with this casting, as Game of Thrones was criticized for lacking a diverse cast and including cultural stereotypes. As a result, House Targaryen are portrayed as black in the television series. This, of course, was met with initial fan criticism, but some publications and commentators stated it helped distinguish between the large number of characters and the two families. Fire and Blood is written in the style of a history book, authored by an in-universe fictional historian studying the Targaryen dynasty and various civil conflicts. The novels of A Song of Ice and Fire, however, are more immersive, with each chapter written in the third-person limited perspective from the immediate point of view of a character. In an effort to make the story more clear for the viewers, the show writers decided to portray the book events in chronological order, from the third-person perspective. Season 2 adapts the chapter The Dying of the Dragons, A Son for a Son, and portions of the chapter The Dying of the Dragons, The Red Dragon and the Gold. In April 2023, Gail Rankin, Simon Russell Beale, Freddie Fox, and Abdul Bakar Salim were announced to have joined the cast for the second season as Alison Rivers, Sir Simon Strong, Sir Gawain Hightower, and Alan of Hull, respectively. The second season began filming on April 11, 2023 at Warner Bros. Studios, Leviston in Watford, England, and moved to Caracas, Spain on May 18, 2023. The series continued filming throughout the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. Despite the show originating in the United States, the largely British cast worked under local rules governed by the sister union, Equity. Filming wrapped by September 29, 2023. The production budget for House of the Dragon was nearly $200 million. Season 2 had a debut of 7.8 million viewers across linear and streaming on Sunday night premiere, which was 22% viewership decline from the previous season, which had had 10 million. The viewership of the season steadily increased as further episodes were released, reaching a season high of 8.9 million viewers for the final episode. The finale also marked the highest streaming viewership for any episode of a show, according to HBO. On March 28, 2023, Deadline revealed that the second season of House of Dragon would consist of 8 episodes, rather than the previously reported 10. Due to this, portions of the plot originally intended for the second season, including a major battle, were now moved to the third season. Now, House of Dragon Season 2 is a resounding success, building upon the foundations laid in the first season to create a truly captivating and immersive viewing experience. The show's writing is superb, with complex characters, intricate plotting, and unexpected twists that keep you on the edge of your seat throughout. Also, the use of English is absolutely superb, yet can be followed quite easily. All the cast delivers outstanding performances, bringing depth and nuance to their respective roles, and of course the cast is too large to go through each one, but special shout-outs must go to Matt Smith, playing Daemon Targaryen, a man battling with his past; Emma D'Arcy as Rhaenyra Targaryen, the rightful heir to the throne; Olivia Cook as Alicent Hightower; the mother of Aegon and Aemon Targaryen, the current leaders of the Seven Kingdoms. Ewan Mitchell as Aemon Targaryen, who delivers a cold and chilling performance. Unfortunately, this season really doesn't have enough of Rhys Evans here as Otto Hightower, as we only see him in 3 episodes. Now, of course, as it would be expected, the show is visually stunning. The show's production values are completely top-notch, transporting viewers to the world of Westeros with breathtaking scenery, costumes and special effects. Not to mention how lifelike the dragons are, how intimidating, scary, yet beautiful and awe-inspiring these dragons are depicted, each one unique and different as they fill your screens. The thing that has always amazed me about the Game of Thrones and now House of the Dragon is that it almost feels like real history playing out before your eyes. You can see the heavy influence that real historic characters and stories have had on writer George R.R. Martin. Sometimes you actually have to pull yourself away to realize that this, of course, is all a fable. It's all fantasy. Yet it feels so real, as if we're watching real-life history play out. The only moment that really takes you out of it is when, of course, you do see the dragons, as that is really the only sort of fantastical aspect of this particular show. Sometimes the story can be convoluted and can be slow-paced. It's one of those shows you really have to read up a lot about beforehand. If you're just a casual viewer, I feel you'll miss a lot of what is really being told. Understanding the mythology, reading the backstories, and picking up the shoulder content is really highly recommended in order to really fully immerse yourself in this most fantastical, layered and nuanced of stories. It's certainly not a show for the faint of heart, and it's not a show that you can just watch casually. You need to fully understand, comprehend, and take on board all the many aspects of this political game that we're watching play out. Overall, I'd say the pacing is well balanced, though some of the episodes did drag a little bit. You're watching the season hoping for maybe those big epic scale moments, and don't worry, it really does deliver every now and again. But this season really seems to be acting as a bridge from season 1 to season 3, and what we've already heard will probably be the finale in season 4. So the story sort of gradually evolves, rather than jumping all in. And therefore this season needs to be viewed in context as, like I said, a bridging of the gap rather than a story on its own. Therefore, leaving the series maybe not as impactful as, say, season 1 was, when of course we're now introduced to this new aspect of this incredible saga. The show carefully sets up emotional stakes, leading you towards the huge spectacle. The show's themes of power, family and loyalty are expertly woven throughout, making for a compelling narrative that's really hard to look away from. Look, you cannot fault the production values of this show. The story is intricate and beautifully written and stylized. The acting is solid and good. And overall, House of the Dragon Season 2 does not disappoint, even though, like I said, it really is acting as a sort of bridge between the beginning and the end. The show is far more focused and not as spread out as Game of Thrones was. And even though I absolutely thoroughly loved the season and cannot wait for Season 3, House of the Dragon Season 2 does somewhat meander at times, but overall will still leave you breathless in all of its spectacle and downright sheer, grandeur storytelling brilliance. House of the Dragon Season 2 gets a 9.5 out of 10.